Good day to our viewers. Welcome to Venture Capital TV. Today, 14th of October, we have a very interesting show. Uh, First, we're going to talk about investment in hospitality, something, something I'm sure a lot of our viewers are very curious about what is happening. And after, we will have a special guest, the CEO of StarX, Troy Bradbury, will be pitching to our panelists. So that'll be very interesting. So please stick with us until the end of the show. And to our viewers, I would just like to remind you that you can always see our shows at latalking.com/VCTV/shows, where we introduce you always great products with great presenters. And just one final thing before we move on to the show. Please do not consider this as any type of advice. You have to do the research. The decision is yours. Now, I would like to welcome our two panelists, Vandana and Tushar, two regular, very esteemed guests of ours, always assisting our panel discussions and our new projects. Thank you very much for being here, Vandana, Tushar. Before we move on,
Thank you.
please, quick introduction about yourself to our viewers. Vandana, would you like to start?
Sure. I was in Singapore and Jakarta for 15 years in investment banking, and I had my own family office fund there. This is my seventh year back in India. I did investments, then I went back to advisory. Currently, I'm connected with 300 investors globally. We pick up global deals, we are sector agnostic. Apart from this, I'm one of the most well-known boutique investment banks in India, led by a female founder. I'm also a venture advisor with Loyal VC, having a core portfolio of 160 investments in 35 countries. My expert opinion is sought in leading business news channels like VCTV and Business World. I've given 160 plus talks all over the world. I'm also selected as the top 10 women leaders in wealth management 2021. And my brand Convanto comes under the top 10 women entrepreneur brands. I want to thank the entire team of Latukun TV for having me here. And once again, looking forward to a fruitful discussion today.
Thank you very much for that fantastic introduction, Vandana. Tushar, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Xavier. It's always a pleasure being on VCTV and discussing various topics, and and the panel is always very good. So basically, my background is since the last 6 years, I manage consultancy ventures. We are closely networked with more than 350 global investors, right from Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, US, and UK. And I'm also a mentor and judge at Indian Institutes of Technology at 5 locations, which are the top institutes in India. In my previous life, I've worked for Deloitte and Touche, also worked for Brand Capital, which is a VC fund, and headed the treasury at the Russian telecom company Sistema's India unit, raised $2.5 billion for them. This month, I've been awarded as Business Leader of the Year in Investment Management by the Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Over the years, I've arranged funding for tech and non-tech startups, and my opinion is sought by the business news channels like CNN News 18 and Business World and Business and Economy. Academically, I'm trained from Harvard Business School, an MBA in finance from University of Delhi, and engineering from Technological Institute of Textile and Sciences. So this is my background. Happy to be discussing Horeca today on the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tushar. Congratulations for your nomination.
Thank
Sounds
you.
like a
Thank you
major
so much.
achievement.
Thank
And
you.
oh, we have Adrian. Adrian, how
Hi,
are you?
Adrian.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. I wasn't supposed to be in the show, but Hasnik told me to be. I'm actually switching between events in Dubai. It's the Golf Blockchain Week. I also met Valentin and Sony from La Token, and it's a very busy week, and it will be a very busy month. And I will switch off my microphone when I'm speaking because it's not the quietest place possible for a call. I'm Mario Niculescu, serial entrepreneur and investor. I'm involved in a few projects: Cloudcoin Consortium, Cloudcoin is a post-blockchain digital currency, DAO1, decentralized autonomous organization. Um, I'm also involved with the Singapore-based N Ventures, the venture capital firm, a mentor in Richard Branson's program Virgin Startups in UK. And also I'm building coincruncher.com as an everything blockchain news and education website. It's a very, very exciting topic today because with Expo 2020, for example, at hotels in Dubai, the prices are double and even triple comparing to September and just with 1 month ago. And initially, I was thinking that it's due to Expo 2020, but some people here who know much better than me are saying that the lockdown in India has ended actually, and a certain social category flew here. So basically, the hotels are packed, which is totally crazy, I would say. And here is like COVID doesn't even exist, except the fact that people are wearing the masks outside and inside, and the discipline is here. Um, it's like even that COVID doesn't exist. Very happy to be here today. Thank you very much for having me and for the opportunity. So we can start the show, right?
Thank you very much indeed, Adrian. Indeed, thank you. We know it's very busy. All the eyes of the world are there in Dubai with all the blockchain events happening. So I appreciate that you can give ourselves your time. And indeed, the topic for today is investment in hospitality. And as you mentioned, Adrian, this is something that's very, very actual. uh, we're facing a post-COVID era in which countries are opening again, and it's still always a challenge for uh, for the Horeca business about how to manage it now. Um, just to quote what hospitality.net mentioned just a couple of days ago, the current global situation is forcing us to rethink the traditional hospitality business model. Safety, cleanliness, and social distancing are issues that are important to customers and will remain so until long after the COVID 19 crisis has ended. Therefore, this will affect the investment in hospitality business. So, briefly, I wanted to ask the panelists, what are their views about this? Vandana, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So the thing is that, the effects of COVID affected hospitality industry before disturbing other industries. And it made 2020 the most distressing year for the industries around the globe as they suffered massive losses due to the sudden lockdown imposed to control the spread of coronavirus. Now, the industry has been observing an upward turn recently, considering the demand for leisure travel added up to the growth of hospitality industry as disposable income increased with visiting destinations in close proximity. There was also witness to a revival in the F&B industry as the restaurant bookings increased ninefold in between June to November 2020. Now, the decline in travel during the pandemic affected tourism figures worldwide. Asia and Pacific saw an 84% decrease in international arrivals in 2020, about 300 million less than in the previous year. The Middle East and Africa both recorded a 75% drop in arrivals. In Europe, arrivals declined by 70%, representing over 500 million fewer international tourists, while the Americans saw a drop of 69%. As the seventh largest tourism economy in the world, India recorded 10.89 million foreign tourist arrivals in 2019, and in 2020, however, an entirely different and rather disfigured story was witnessed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While for some airlines, the entire fleet of planes were grounded for months, many were seen delivering cargo on passenger planes post lockdown. And a difficult year that was 2020 is behind us, but the ramifications faced by the entire travel and tourism sector stay. And I'm looking forward to talk about those issues today, especially in regards to India's situation.
Thank you very much for that insight. I would like to welcome our fourth panelist, Dr. Bhatia. Welcome to the show. Uh,
Thank you, Xavier.
we're talking in this occasion about investment in hospitality. Um, as that's a very actual uh, topic at the moment. Before I move on to Shar, you heard what Adrian said, that right now in Dubai is like if almost nothing has happened except for the face masks, and this might be due because India has opened the doors and it's free to travel. What are your comments about this? What are your impressions? Oh, sorry, Tushar, you're muted. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. So I've had Horeca clients since a long time. They were cloud kitchens and food delivery technology. And my sense is that the industry was at the forefront and suffered the most. And because the pandemic has still not left the shores. And for example, in India, almost 100 million people have been given one vaccination, and 250 million people have been vaccinated twice. So still, we are people are watching out for the third wave. And when it comes to eating out or any kind of hospitality business, the volumes have still not recovered to the levels which were seen earlier.
Hmm.
But as and when the vaccination plays out more and the countries start opening up, like Dubai has you know uh, done the this whole gala. So I'm sure that business would be back to the levels which were seen prior to the pandemic. And the total hit to the Horeca business was almost to the tune of at least 40 to 50%, and many good restaurants had closed down. And so the effect on the industry was quite a lot. But I'm seeing investors interest in models which utilize contactless payment services, which guarantee you quality and hygienic food delivered in a safe packaging. And those kind of models will always be preferred by investors from the current state.
Hmm. Thank you very much. That is very true. I can see that in different markets as well that they're preferring one type of, let's say, sealed envelopes. Now, Dr. Bhatia, I would like to request two things from you. First one, if you can give us, please, a brief introduction about yourself, and the second one, your comments on this topic about investment in hospitality.
Thanks, Xavier. I think this is the first time I'm interacting with you.
Yes, indeed.
I'm
Nice to meet you.
same here. I'm Dr. Saurabh Bhatia. I'm based out of Pune. I help startups get funded, and uh, I don't think there's any more introduction. Regarding the topic that you're saying about hospitality, February and March this year, we had several companies, several startups coming to us looking for funding. But we had a real hard time getting any fund for them because of the overall situation of COVID, second wave in India. And then it was also not very clear when will these companies be able to, recoup their money on their investments. So thankfully now a little bit of market is opening up, But at the same time, there's a bit of fear for the third wave. So currently, what I am seeing in the market, which is around me, is that companies which are tourist oriented, and that one is still not doing really great, and the investor sentiment is still a little bit taking into consideration if there will be a third wave or not. So people are still a little in the wait and watch mode. But things which are related to things like flights or cab services, which are related to short-term tours here and there, they are actually picking up now. But investments in things like building a hotel or having a hotel aggregator service, these kind of things are still not being very encouraged by the investor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you for that insight. And I think Adrian, being the man on the ground where the events are happening in regard to blockchain, can see what's the attitude of the people, especially as Dubai is considered like a major place for hospitality, right?
Correct. I will tell you things I've observed because in any market, there are official figures and things you can look with your eyes. So in September, for example, because I came here in September and I came in May June because we spent a lot of time here, and in May June I was looking at some malls and I was thinking how these guys are they able to pay the rent, because it was very few people, and even when it was only from one company, only one flight per week from Bucharest to Dubai, and that flight was only a quarter of it was full. In September, things were very different anyway, but not at the potential. But now it's like a full season anyway. But if you look closely, you see that especially in the restaurants niche, the ones who didn't adapt the business models are dying, and the ones who are adapting the business models, who are putting things in the digital space, who are bringing a lot of value to their customers, because the customers can choose, is a market of customers right now, is not a market of sellers. So it's very different. So if you don't offer a lot of value to your clients, they will order somewhere else. So um, even the very important companies, if they don't react, not react, if they don't like take the future in their hands, if they don't make the necessary adjustments, they are dying. Some of them slow, some of them fast, but they are dying for sure from the business point of view. About the investors, um, there is a trend now in the United States. It's also connected to Horeca, but mainly connected to retail, to malls, because in the United States malls are not so popular as they were a few years ago. So there are investors who are putting money in what are called distressed brick and mortar businesses, but with very good brands which are built for years. They take those business digital by also keeping as much possible from the brick and mortar, and they are building the new powerhouses. So the shift of investments is in different directions, and because um, we will have a pitch today, and I received the pitch of the company like 2 hours before the show, and I went through it. I said, look at the market of booking, for example. Look what giant booking.com is, and how influential is in the space. And this only means there is so much opportunities for other players to come bring more value, do things differently, because people may stop travel for a while, and you need to have resources to survive such downturns, but they will not stop traveling no matter what happens, only for short term.
Yeah, I agree with that. We will continue traveling. People desire it. The business need it. And welcome, Gary. Welcome to this event today.
Yeah, no, it's great to be here.
Fantastic. We're gonna start soon by bringing in Star Starworks Global. The CEO is gonna give a pitch to you, to the group. And before we jump on that, Gary, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers quickly, and then we can move on with the
Yeah, sure. My name's Gary Fowler. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I've done 17 startups. I've been involved in 2 unicorns. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company. Love artificial intelligence and quantum computing. I've written 164 articles in the last 18 months and have done over 600 podcasts. So just love it. And a lot of speaking. Recently spoke at the United Nations on technology as a tool for peace, I guess week and a half ago, and also with Steve Wozniak last week in Prague.
Gary, thank you very much for that introduction. Anuj, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Javier. Great meeting you. I mean, first time seeing you in person. So
Yes, indeed.
yeah, welcome to the team at LA Token.
Thank you for this warm welcome. Yeah, to some of you it's the first time. To the people I know a couple of times, but yeah, thank you very much. Anuj, can I please ask you to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure, absolutely. So, been an entrepreneur for a decade. So, started 3 companies in the last 10 years. Most recent was an app called Skivi. We took an exit from that in 2018. Since that, I have been a mentor and consultant with a lot of other startups. We have a startup boutique firm in India called Yellow Sapphire Technologies, where we work with other early stage organizations to help them be market ready and be investor ready. Along with it, we work with accelerators and incubators across the globe and with large corporations with any new pilot initiatives. Uh, my expertise is primarily in fintech, e-commerce, gaming, and medtech. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it about myself.
Thank you very much, Anuj, and thank you to all our panelists for the introduction, for the comments and the insights. And now I would like to welcome Mr. Troy Bradbury, CEO, representing Starworks Global. And we're going to listen now to a 10 minutes pitch, which will be followed by the comments, questions from the panelists and for the people watching at us in their laptops and their computers. So, Troy, very welcome.
Thanks, Xavier. Thanks for having me.
Please feel free to start your pitch. If you have any material to share with us, please feel free to do so.
I will do. And then I'd like to thank LA Token for the opportunity to be on VCTV, and obviously all the investors that are here today as well. So I'll just share my screen, as I do have a pitch document. Just bear with me. Okay, so I'm assuming everyone can see that?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thanks again for the opportunity to be able to present. Obviously we're talking about StarX today, and I'd like to invite our investors to join us on our journey to help stimulate and revitalise the global tourism and hospitality industry. So to begin with, just a little bit of background about Starworks Global. We're a Singaporean corporation. Our head office is based in the beautiful international tourist mecca of Bali, Indonesia. And we have a 20-year history within the hospitality and tourism industry. So we currently have bricks and mortar operations in Bali, which includes luxury villas, bar, massage, nightclub, and restaurants. So we do have some insights into the industry itself. And what I'd like to present today is our StarX token, but also in particular our Star One initiative, which is a marketing platform which is helping us to commercialize, or basically promote and commercialize, an ecosystem of blockchain technology-based products and services to help stimulate the global tourism and hospitality industry. And underpinning that is our StarX token, which is the native currency of our ecosystem, and that's what we're seeking investment for. So to begin with, and this is obviously following on from the conversation from the panelists before regarding COVID-19, which has obviously decimated, globally, but also predominantly also the tourism and hospitality industry. So although that does present some challenges, we also see there as being an opportunity there for us to position ourselves to take advantage for when tourism returns, both domestically and internationally. So when it comes to looking at some of the problems inherent in the industry, both those caused by COVID-19 and also some of the archaic problems that have been in the industry probably for a number of years. So COVID has obviously decimated the industry. Some other issues: costly transaction fees via traditional banks, loyalty and reward points program limitations, and obviously that's relevant to the industry as a whole. Limited use of blockchain and other leading technologies, limiting funding to the industry, and a lack of infrastructure and support for businesses. So our solution to combat these issues lies in our integrated ecosystem of blockchain tech-based products and services that are all interlinked. There's a little bit of a snapshot there, but I will run through some of these in the following slides. So from a technology perspective, we have our Star token series. So we have our StarX token, which is based upon the Ethereum ERC777 standard. And we also have a couple other tokens that come under our StarXS series, and they're linked to some of the products within our ecosystems. And I will talk about that a little bit later. We have our operational ERC20 crypto wallet, and we are also looking to develop our own proprietary blockchain under our Star Chain banner. Under products and services, so we have Star Points. So this is our loyalty and rewards program. This is currently in development, and this has a lot of scope on the global level. We're looking to launch this next year, and we have some partners on board already that are really going to be able to help us to sort of leverage this and sort of scale it up quite dramatically. We also have our Star Traveller, which is a crypto lifestyle travel club. So the premise of Star Traveller, and it in a way, it's a model sort of along Expedia and Booking.com, but it's a travel club where you can book everything in one platform, from car hire to flights to $1 million+ accommodation, resorts. We have 110% money back guarantee that we have cheaper pricing for accommodation on any publicly listed OTA site. There's all activities and travel insurance can all be booked under the one platform, and also earn reward points. And another value add to our Star Traveller Club is we have a token that's linked to that, which is is actually income earning as well. So customers get to enjoy 10% annual interest of tokens held in their wallet, as well as an income sharing dividend of the turnover of Star Traveller. And StarFin, which is a DeFi financial system and services product. Under our business operations, we have Star Labs, which is the heart of our business, which is basically our technology, marketing, software, blockchain development, and so forth. And also Star Hub, which is a series of co-shared workspaces, crypto lounges, which will be in development for next year. So this, when it comes to talking about our business model, so we have a very scalable B2B and B2C business model. Basically, from a sales and marketing perspective, customers will enter our ecosystem. And once inside our ecosystem, there's the opportunity of being able to cross-sell and cross-promote other products and services. So in the center of that slide there is it represents our ecosystem with a few different products there. As I said before, with our Star Traveller Club, we have a token that's linked to that, which is represented. The membership is actually represented by our Star XT token. We also have our Star Points program, which is a loyalty and rewards point program, and that's represented by our Star XP token. So that the way that customers gain access to these tokens is by purchasing our StarX token, entering our ecosystem, and then being able to purchase those particular tokens. So from a scalability perspective, as our customer base grows, so does our network of merchants, particularly with our loyalty and reward points program. And obviously with the StarX token, they can conversely, tokens within the ecosystem can be converted back to StarX and also exchanged into fiat currency or other cryptocurrencies and so forth. From a market analysis, so the industry is quite large, well, was $9 trillion, and obviously in the last year and a half, COVID has, the industry has really taken a whack with, you know, one of the stats there for international tourist arrivals dropping by 85% up to 2021, 50 million jobs lost, the GDP is sort of halved just about, but as I said before, we see ourselves as being able to position ourselves to take advantage when tourism does actually return. From a landscape of competition, so look, there are obviously players out there in the industry that are taking advantage of blockchain and crypto in different ways, from booking sites to airlines and so forth. It's a little bit of a fragmented approach compared to our solution, where we basically have an integrated ecosystem of all our products and services that are all interlinked and all taking advantage of blockchain technology and crypto functionality. So our journey so far, so our journey actually started about 4 years ago when our founder, Graham Bristow, saw the opportunity of taking advantage of blockchaining and emerging technologies and infusing that into an ecosystem of products and services. So from that journey, that brings us to today, where we have our IEO for our StarX token. We also have the launch of our Star Traveller online travel club, which is be launching in the Australian market in December. And we're specifically picking that market because domestic tourism, there's a couple of states in Australia where obviously COVID is, you know, causing a little bit of havoc, but they're fairly soon they're going to be opening up international travel. So we're starting the Australian market there. And as I say, next year we'll be expanding other products and services with our loyalty and rewards program and our own proprietary blockchain. Okay, so when it comes to our team, we have about 100 plus staff. We've got about 35 staff that are involved in management and operations, and that includes all our software and blockchain developers, our marketing team, finance, and so forth. The other staff are basically manage our, you know, luxury villas and spas and nightclubs and whatnot. But one of the things I will say is we do have an amazing team of people with amazing skill sets, and a great team culture with people that share the passion for what we're doing and also share the vision of where we actually, you know, where our journey is going to take us to, which I think is always a really important thing for any company or any business. From an investment perspective, we've raised a little over $1 million US. We have some really great partners that have invested with us so far, and we'll have a target of $2 million US for the IEO. From a tokenomics perspective, so 1 billion tokens, circulating supply of 600 million, initial supply of 20 million, and I mentioned before the tokens based upon the ERC 777 standard. Applications of funds, you know, broken down into listing and legal fees, capital expenditure, R&D, marketing, and commercializing our ecosystem further. Financial projections, so we have some fairly aggressive growth that we're looking at when we start commercializing our products and services next year and then scaling that out exponentially. As I say, we do have some quite significant partners on board that will allow us to actually scale that up fairly aggressively. And linked to that is the revenue streams that we're linking to most of our products and services, whether it be for memberships or transactional fees for the loyalty and rewards points program, even advertising and marketing that our Star Labs internal team will manage as well. And once we start introducing other products and services in our ecosystem, we'll obviously take advantage of that from a revenue generation perspective as well. Okay, from a marketing strategy, so we're quite lucky that we have our own in-house marketing team that can handle our social media and digital marketing and also SEO maximization. A major focus for us is going to be our affiliate program, which is going to allow us to get a global reach to be able to push out all our different products and services. And as well as some of our business partnerships where we can leverage off mutual networks and do cross-promotional marketing activity as well. And now it comes down to why invest with Starworks, and in particular a StarX token. And the answer to that is to basically, for investors, to maximize a return on investment. But there obviously is some aspects that link into that. And, some of those include timing. So as I've said a couple of times, tourism and hospitality industry has been really hard hit, but it will return. And we're looking to position ourselves to take advantage of that. From being in the industry for 20 years, we do have some insights, and we've also shown a lot of resilience over the last couple of years, and weathering the COVID storm, having operations in Bali that are still operating today, still having the same staff. We didn't have to cut staff, so it sort of shows the resilience of how we, and the integrity of our business as well. Our ecosystem, as I mentioned, there's a number of products and services inside the ecosystem, so it's actually backed by substance and tangible products we're taking out to market that will add value to our business. Global opportunities. It's a global market, hospitality and tourism. And just finally, just from, as I mentioned before, the skills, the team of people that we have are the driving force of our business. We sit down, we work out what the challenges are, where the vision and where we're heading to, and we just make it work. It's fantastic to have all those people on board. From a COVID perspective, obviously the marketplace has changed. There will no doubt be some major players that won't be around when tourism does return. And also from a customer perspective, the customer purchasing channels have changed in the last couple of years. It's more of a digital world. They're more in tune with going online to be able to make product comparisons and purchasing patterns and so forth. And that's where we're positioning ourselves. Obviously, the scope of the market, $9 trillion. As I mentioned before, the opportunities to maximize the return on investment is to get in early, which is why we have the IEO. And finally, and probably importantly, is our vision for where our business is and where we're going. The passion that we infuse into that, and just the culture that we have for a company, both internally, how we treat each other, and the relationships that we have with our customers, with our merchants, and our investors alike. So so that basically includes a little bit of an overview of our StarX token and also our business as a whole as well.
Thank you, Troy, for all that information. I'm sure our group of panelists have a few questions. Who would like to start?
Would you like me to turn that presentation off now?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, please do. Thank you.
Troy, how much is the fundraise that you're looking at?
Sorry?
How much is the fundraise that you're looking at for your venture?
So we've raised so far a little over $1 million initial investment, and we're looking for $2 million for the IEO.
What would be your fund usage?
Well, it's going to be broken down in all the different aspects of capital expenditure, R&D, commercializing the ecosystem further as we move forward. We've been working on this project now for probably about 3 years. So we're already well advanced, and we're obviously got some products that we're ready to launch at the moment, and others that we need to commercialize, and develop it a little bit further before launching them into the marketplace.
What's your burn rate, Troy?
Look, at the moment it's probably around 50, 60K a month at the moment.
50 or 60K a month, but you have what, 37 people, 30 some people, right?
Yeah, we have revenue streams coming in as well, but you have to also understand that the costs in Bali, Indonesia, where our head office is obviously, from a labour rate perspective, is significantly lower than, say, other Western countries and so forth.
And then what about your expansion plans?
So expansion-wise, what we're planning on doing is, given that Indonesia, Bali is basically our backyard, we'll be looking at launching some of our products in the Indonesian market, predominantly our loyalty and rewards point program. We're targeting Australia at the moment for our Star Traveller program, simply because, well, number one, I'm from Australia, from the accent, We also have someone on the ground over at the moment. I should say that I'm actually based in New Zealand at the moment. So unfortunately, COVID curtailed my plans to go back to Bali last year, so Indonesia. So we're launching that product in the Australian market. And we've got some. We're actually doing a campaign there for back to Bali, because Australia is one of the major sort of tourist sort of markets for Bali, right? So it makes sense. And then we'll soon after roll that out into the Indonesian market to pick up Singapore and other regions. And we have already someone in the US and also the UK markets as well.
So
and obviously once.
And when are you going to start the expansion, like to US, Europe? When is that going to start?
Well, as I say, so Australia will be launched in the start of December. So the first quarter of next year is when we'll be looking at rolling out into the UK and the US markets as well.
And how much you're raising? $2 million, right?
Yeah, and we've just started the IEO basically. So.
Because that's not a lot of money when you're talking about global expansion like that with marketing, right? If you're at 60 now, you're going to be at 200. And you want to look at, lasting at least 18 months. And then you've got all the marketing expenses, which will be, probably half of what you have in your expenses for your employees. So you want to look at it to make sure. I'm not sure that that's the right number.
Yeah, well, we're also bringing revenue in too from the sales of our tokens and also our Star Traveller Club as well.
How much you're going to bring in? What are you estimating to come in? How much?
Well, to give you an indication on the Star Traveller program, because all of our products are obviously related within the hospitality and tourism industry. They're all slightly different, but they all link together. So the platform that we use for our Star Traveller program is a third-party software program. The memberships range anywhere from roughly $3,000 to $5,000. At the moment, that platform has about 5 million members that are using it with their other partners. So that in itself, it's there's quite large sort of profitability on those memberships as well.
But you got 5 million. There's a lot of profitability. What percentage of those are yours? And
no. So I'm just giving you a bit of an understanding of the landscape. That in that particular market, with the third-party software that we use, they currently have about 5 million members globally. And some of the other partners have 100,000 plus memberships that have actually sold out to the marketplace. So.
Okay.
Hey, but look, if you wanted to drill down into more details, happy to have a one-on-one and, talk some more sort of in-depth facts, I suppose. So.
Got it.
Thank you. Maybe Tushar, Anuj, Adrian, do you have any questions?
First, yeah, please carry on, Adrian.
Sorry, Tushar. First, I want to congratulate you for starting this project in this niche, which is very rewarding, but not so many players are fighting for it. I know pretty well Travala as a project, and I see the potential. I wanted to hear from you, parallel to the pitch, which is the unique proposition of the project. How do you want to position it in the market and in the mind of customers? And also a little bit technical one. Why did you choose Ethereum? Probably the choice was done sometime before, but I believe there are more and better alternatives today to create such a project than do it on Ethereum.
Yeah, well, look, Infusing was chosen when the project started about 3 or 4 years ago. A little bit of background on me. So I was working with Starworks Global about 5 years ago for a couple of years, and I left. Then I was meant to go. Then I came back to New Zealand. Then I was meant to go back to Indonesia last year. COVID stopped that. So I've been on board in this role now for about 4 months now. So working obviously remotely. So the Ethereum platform was chosen, as I say, 3 or 4 years ago on the merits of what it was then and where the business was looking at doing. Obviously, you're right. There are other platforms out there. We're looking at developing our own blockchain to manage our internal tokens with our ecosystem. Obviously, because gas fees are a killer. and even from an environmental perspective, right? Because that's obviously mainstream in a lot of customers' mindsets of ethereum and gas fees and so forth. Now, the other part of your question was how we plan to position ourselves in terms of our customers. Okay, so what we're looking to do from a customer perspective is to be able to make it easy for customers to be able to navigate all aspects relating to the tourism hospitality industry, right? So if you have a look, for argument's sake, with our travel platform, a customer can enter that, they can book their flights, they can book their car hire, they can choose from 1 million plus accommodation, resorts, activities, cruises, travel insurance, and earn reward points on top of that. So it's going to be an easy process for customers to understand that. And the same thing, that once they enter our ecosystem, then there's the opportunity of introducing them into other products that we do, like our loyalty and reward points program. So one of the things is ease, also innovation as well. We want to be able to offer value to our customers, you know, and if we can save customers, and when you look at, you know, I had an interview earlier this week, and one of the questions was, how are we going to help facilitate, you know, revival of tourism? You know, our Start Traveller program allows us to do that by making travel affordable again. You know, by taking advantage of our communications and our social media we're going to be putting out there to promote what's going on in the world as well. We can't do that much at the moment because until travel starts again, and a lot of that's in the hands of the government and all the protocols involved in, you know, safe travel with COVID and so forth. So.
Thank you for that answer. Anuj, I believe you also had a comment or question?
Yes. So, Troy, great bridge. Love the idea, mate. Love the project that you're working on. I mean, I'll leave the fundraising part to Gary. I'll let Adrian bring out the technicalities. I want to focus more on the product. So there are two kind of travelers, right? There is people who are traveling for personal reasons, and then there are business travelers.
Yep.
Do me a favor, because of course, while bringing in tokens and then trying to revive that tourism sector with the help of modern technology, with creating an ecosystem, while on paper that sounds like a very fantastic idea, one of the main issues that always comes in is people actually adopting it. So what are you doing to bring up that adoption numbers? Secondly, there's one mantra which I repeat any chance I get, which is collaborate, don't compete. So one of the reasons why companies like Slack grew so rapidly is because they built an ecosystem. And I see you're trying to do the same. But what Slack did was they built their system and they made it in such a way that for business users, they can integrate any other system that they want. So if I, as a business, use some set of tools, I can go ahead and integrate that onto Slack and sort of work with it. And it allowed that freedom for every other business to adopt that. How are you doing that? While, of course, StarX and StarWorld is creating that ecosystem, it is still a very closed loop ecosystem. So it's still competing with the Expedia, with the Vago and another major players. So for a business client, it becomes a hurdle. I don't know why I should get involved with this, especially when my employees are going to be booking tickets. For a personal user, that again becomes a closed ecosystem. I would much rather use an American Express or a JetBlue card and then just book my tickets directly. So how are you opening up that ecosystem, and then how you're actually collaborating and then bringing up those adoption numbers?
Okay, so you've touched upon quite a few different points there and a few different questions involved in that as well. So, okay, so if I start on a collaboration perspective, right? So obviously I've talked about our ecosystem, how we're taking it into the marketplace. We're building out collaboration-wise. We're looking at getting partners on board in different countries around the world. We're already talking to some people in the UK and Japan as well, particularly for some of the products we're doing, our rewards points program. We already have a fairly substantial equity partner involved in our business, which is going to allow us to scale up quite substantially, very substantially next year once we finish developing different products and services and what we're doing. And what were the other? It was a little bit of a long question, that one. What were the other things that you were asking? Sorry.
How are you bringing in adoption for the B2C users, the people who are people who are traveling for personal reasons or for vacations?
Yeah, well, that's going to be predominantly based upon our marketing platform, right? How we're going to engage with our community, the social media that we'll be putting out there. We're scaled, as I said, we've got one particular product with Star Traveller, right? We're targeting the Australian demographic, right? We're segmenting that into, there's going to be, the first group of travellers that are generally going to go overseas. There's a really great article by a report by the World Travel and Tourism Council. And there's two reports here, and they're both collectively about 60 pages, and it provides some amazing insights globally. What's going on with all the stats, who's doing what countries are, what different governments are doing with tax and concessions and everything else to help stimulate travel. But one of the first users groups that are going to be going out there, the more risk adverse ones. So it's going to be your surfers and backpackers are going to break the frontiers when it comes to international travel, right? So we're looking at setting up one of our membership packages with our travel club to particularly target those guys. We're also doing another membership that offers a few different features and benefits to target families as well. And while we get that promotion out, we engage our PR companies. We do our own social media and marketing. We put out there the value proposition. Even now, the way our website is being developed at the moment, it's got to be easy to understand, because not only from a travel club perspective, there's so many variables involved and so many benefits to the platform that we actually have. But we've also got a crypto infusion in it as well. So it has to be simplistic as well. So we're looking at the different channels. So from a social media perspective, we'll be targeting some of the crypto people, the digital nomads, and that's got an understanding of that and drive it to that particular area on our website that they can actually engage with. The mums and dads, we have to take them on a different customer journey and take them to part of our website where they can understand, well, yeah, I understand now, I get value for money, and there are some benefits there with the crypto infusion as well. So to answer that question, how we engage with our customers, it's basically the marketing that we do, how we take that out and then how we explain our customer journey to our customer base.
And how is your expansion strategy? I understand you guys, of course, would be starting off of Southeast Asia and Australia and New Zealand, but which countries are you going to be targeting next, and then how will that expansion plan go?
So as I say, with the Star Traveller, we're starting the Australian market. And the predominant reason we're doing that, Australia, is that we want to also be able to help promote Bali. As I say, Australia makes up the largest demographic of tourism to that region. So we're doing a back to Bali promotion where we're going to arrange a whole range of incentives and offers to basically stimulate travel and get people back to Bali. We'll promote other, features and benefits sort of in that regard as well. So we start with the Australian market. We've already have our team set up in Indonesia that can handle looking after the Indonesian market as well. The stats for America are different. There's a time. It's almost like a timeshare component that's built into our platform, but it's not timeshare, so you don't pay the annual fees. And in the US, the timeshare market is actually quite big. These programs in the US are quite large as well, and there's obviously the volume of population that can support this. The same thing with the UK. The UK market is more generally open from the stats we've seen for international travel because it's easier to travel, and they generally have more weeks holiday than say the US as well. So we're taking all these factors into account when we look at our research and then map out what our strategies are going to be moving forward. And as I say, with our reward points program, as I say, we've got a lot of scope in Indonesia to launch that on a fairly large scale, and exponentially we'll then roll that out because we have a Star Traveller program in Australia that makes it an easy entry point to look at introducing other products and services at the same time. Got
it. Good luck, mate. I mean, this sounds wonderful.
No, I appreciate it. It's obviously got its challenges, right? But if it was easy, it's part of life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If it would be easy, anybody else would do it.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Well,
so
I think that is it for our time. I would like to thank all our panelists that have been here making the questions. Troy, thank you again for coming and presenting your project. We do wish you all the best. You can count with us. We hope to see you again here in maybe in a couple of weeks when you can tell us more. You can see the advances and how the project is progressing. Once again, to our panelists and viewers, thank you very much for attending this, and hope to see you again.
Sounds
Fantastic.
great.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you. Take care.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All success with the project. Thank you. Bye bye.